I'm going to teach you a guaranteed way that you can draw your irons, even if you slice them. So how can I guarantee that? Well, I know that if you slice or fade the irons, I almost know that there's going to be certain things that you're doing in your golf swing which creates that. Probably 4 of them. And in this video, we're going to take those 4 things and reverse them. If we can reverse them, your slice turns into a draw. So I can almost guarantee that if you follow the 4 steps of this video, you will no longer fade or slice your irons. You'll be hitting them more solid, probably a little bit of draw, and definitely further as well. We have to start with the club face, because I know that if you are fading, slicing, missing the target out to the right, I guarantee that your club face is open to the path that you swing the club on. Now, if we don't change that, the ball is always going to move from left to right. Guaranteed. So the first thing we have to do is learn how to control that club face. So if you come in a little bit closer, I'm going to do a little demonstration with a tee down on my grip. I'm going to place this tee right into the sort of crease between my thumb, and it's not protruding sort of too much down here. Now what I'd love you to do is just place your hand on the golf club. And what you're looking for is, where is that tee pointing relative to the club shaft? You can hopefully see that that tee is slightly in front of the club. Now that would suggest to me that my grip is slightly weak, which is correct. My grip is slightly weak. So wherever that tee points relative to the club shaft, it could be in front, it could be, pretty much down the grip. I want you to relax your hand, turn the tee maybe 5 or 10 degrees more to the trail side of the grip, and then close your hand around. Now you can see, as I kind of raise it up a little bit, that tee points fractionally behind the club shaft. You think when I put it on initially, it was in front of the club shaft. So what I've done is I've changed where my top hand is on that golf club. When I do that, my thumb sits now more to the trail side. I can see a little bit more of the TaylorMade logo. I can see a little bit more of the knuckles. So wherever your hand goes naturally, I want you to rotate it a little bit more on top of the golf club and rotate that tee. Now, why is that helping? Well, what it's really doing is it's changing your ability to twist the golf club. So if I set the club out here and I put my hand in a very weak position, this would be very weak, I could hardly see anybody here. From here, if I hold the bicep and you ask me to close the club face, I can, but not a huge amount. That's about my complete range of motion. If I strengthen that grip in just the way that we told you to a moment ago, hold this. Now if you ask me to close the club face, guess what? I can do it by a huge amount more, almost double the amount. So when we rotate the hand over on top of the golf club more, we give ourselves more opportunity to close the club face. That's what we need. That has to be the first thing that we do, because if you can't get the club face closed, then you're never going to start to turn your draw, your slice, into a draw. So the first thing is, take that hand and move it more on top of the golf club. However, that's kind of useless if we don't also cover the setup. Here are 2 setups, both with a 7-iron. One of these setups is almost guaranteed to promote or produce a fade, a slice. The other is far more likely to produce a straight shot or a draw shot. Can you tell which is which? Well, the image on the right-hand side is the one that we want to work towards. That's the setup that's going to encourage that draw. Let's go through exactly why that's the case. We know that we swing the golf club around our body on effectively a big circle, it's a big arc. And that golf club is never traveling in a straight line. So if we look at the golf club from a down the line perspective, at some point, everybody's golf club is traveling pretty much down towards the target. After that point, let's say the straight point is here. After that point, the club starts to arc and move more left. Before that point, the golf club is moving more out to the right. So we can think about our golf club swinging relative to the target as swinging out to the right, out to the right, out to the right, straight, to the left, to the left, to the left. Everybody's golf swing does that. Can't change it. Even if you're someone who hooks it, slices it, hits it straight, that is what your club is doing. So it becomes incredibly important that we hit the ball at the right point of that arc. If we hit the ball too late, the golf club is almost certainly going to be moving left of target. That out-to-in path is what gives that ball its curve, along with the club face, which we've now fixed. So that first setup you saw on the screen, the one on the left-hand side, the ball was too far forward. That's a fault. The grip was too far back, that's another fault. The weight was too far back. My head was too far back. There was 4 things in that setup which were all promoting a fade or a slice. We need to reverse them. So how do we reverse them? Well, pretty simply, we move the ball more towards the middle of your stance. It's probably not going to be middle for me because I've got a 7-iron, it's going to be just forward, but it's further back. I want to have my weight further forward with my midsection. I'm moving my knees and my thighs forward so I feel a little bit more weight on my lead side. That's the second thing we've changed. I want to have the handle in front of the golf ball. That's the third thing we've changed. And then because of those 3 things, the fourth one is that my head is a lot more in line with the golf ball. If I was to exaggerate all of those, ball more back, weight even further forward, I'm actually dialing in more of a draw. But we don't want to go too extreme here. I'd love you to be able to hit straight shots, maybe with a little bit of draw. We don't need to go, fly buzzing around my ear, we don't need to go super extreme. But if you want to have a little play around with that in practice, go for it. Get the ball back, hands forward, weight forward. So when I'm hitting 7-iron, I want to build in the draw before I even move the club away. That's the easiest way to do this. We've got our new grip, we've got the ball just forward of centre, knees and hips, bump a little bit of weight, shaft goes a little bit forward, head is in line with the golf ball, I'm building in my draw. And that ball drew because I had the draw transition, which you're going to need if you are a slicer of the golf ball. So what is that draw transition? Well, ultimately it's how you go from backswing to downswing. That's such an important part of the golf swing. And with slicers, there's often one really common pattern. Let's reverse it. The common pattern would be that the hands, the club shaft and the club head move too much out towards the golf ball too quickly or too early. So even if you've got this perfect setup with a perfect grip and a perfect backswing, if your hands and the club move out this way too early, I am 25% into my downswing, it's going to be a fade, it's going to be a pull, it's going to be a slice, even at that stage, because it's too late to recover it. People who draw the golf ball have a very different transition. I'm going to teach you that. What we have to appreciate is how the body works and how the arms work relative to that. In my backswing, I have got body turn, as you can see there, and arm lift. If I put those 2 things together, I get a pretty good top of the backswing. So my backswing is made up of body turn, arm lift. The downswing is therefore made up of those 2 movements, body turn, arm drop. The slicers very often will go body turn, arms drop. If we reverse that and go arms drop, body turn, straight away you can see how that instantly changes my downswing shape. It's instantly changing my transition. So to get this draw to move away from that slice, what I want you to feel is as you get to the top, you keep your chest facing away from the target, which would be back towards where you're viewing this from. And as you hold your chest in that position, you work your arms, what you feel is down and behind you. Now, as I'm demonstrating this, this is not what it will look like in your golf swing. This happens so fast. It's milliseconds. It will feel like an eternity. In reality, when you're looking at it on camera, you'll feel like you do something pretty extreme. You'll look back at it and you'll be like, that looks really good. So even though this is going to feel like you're holding and you're pushing, the reality is it's going to look pretty damn good. What we have to do is change the relationship between what your arms are doing and what your body's doing. So I'm going to make a couple of rehearsals. I'm simply going to make a backswing, hold my chest, work my arms down. Once I've done that a couple of times, I can then go ahead and hit it. And straight away when I do that, we're going to see a different path and we're going to see a different shape on the golf ball. So here we go backswing, rehearse it, rehearse it, rehearse it, turn through. What do we see? Ball draws. That ball only drew because there was one other really key thing that happened through impact, which is how I release the golf club. On the screen, you're going to see 2 images just post-impact, different releases. One of those is a release which is fairly neutral, pretty much based on a draw ball flight. One of them, more common, and is going to give more weak shots, more fade shots. Now, I'm pretty sure you can guess which is which. The one on the left, as you're viewing it, is the one we really want to avoid. The one on the right is the one we want to work towards. So what is the difference there? Well, clearly there was a different kind of look post-impact. And obviously at that point, the ball is already gone. But the release is really how you take that club face, which as you come into delivery is always going to be open, as you can see here. And it's how you square that club face up, and then it will continue to rotate. Very often slicers have the club face maybe in a good position on the way down, but they never quite square it into impact because their release is poor. We're looking at the rotation of the arms. In that first image, the correct image I should say, what we were seeing was from where you were viewing it from, you could see the last 3 fingers on my lead hand, and my lead arm had rotated. My elbow is pointing more behind me. The poorer release, different arm rotation. Elbow points more up, and then suddenly you can't see those 3 fingers. This is more common. You'll have seen this in your swing maybe. You'll have seen this in your playing partner's swing. So many golfers go through the golf ball this way. That's not releasing the loft of the club face. So if everything up until this point is correct, and you don't quite get the release, you're still going to miss it out to the right. This is so simple, this exercise, but do this because it's going to teach you how to rotate that lead arm. Open your palm up, place it down here. The palm of your hand should be directly away from the target. The back of your hand should be at your target. Make a little backswing, and what we should get is that the back of the hand, or this logo, we use a TaylorMade logo, faces the camera. What so many of you will do naturally is more this. Which part of the hand can you see? Nothing. You can't see the back of the hand, you can't see the palm of the hand. What I'd love you to do is go logo at target, logo at camera, logo at target, logo behind you. Now you can see the palm of my hand. So you can see how my hand is rotating through this impact area. That would be 0 rotation. So notice how, if I turn my body, it's not my body that's doing this. It's not my body that's rotating that hand. It's not my body that's squaring that club face. Yes, my body's doing something, but as my body's doing something, I need to be rotating my arm. Such a big myth that we square the face with our body. All we do is we get the club into delivery and we turn through the golf ball. We don't. The arm has to play a role. And if you're unaware of that, or you're thinking that the body's doing it all, guess what? You're going to get these poor releases. So the final part of this is to see if you can hit some little shots. Logo at camera. 3 fingers at camera. Now that went pretty straight. I caught it about a foot before the ball, but there's the release. You can see those 3 fingers. So I don't need to be hitting shots 200 yards with the driver to work on this. I can be hitting golf balls over a very short distance and simply thinking about my lead hand, logo to camera, 3 fingers to camera. Logo to camera, 3 fingers to camera. That is me releasing the club face, letting the toe turn over. And if you can do that, along with everything else we've covered, I guarantee your slice will be gone.